On February 10th, when people had left work to go home or meet friends on a Friday night, Tsui Fire Station received an emergency call.
It was a number 2 alarm fire call, signifying an incident in a crowded area. When we arrived at Tsui MTR station, I saw people being evacuated. I knew something serious had happened.
Before I could see anything, I noticed a burning smell. In the station, I saw smoke and casualties. Their injuries were quite shocking. But as an ambulanceman, I had to maintain my composure and perform my duty in taking care of the injured.
Every second counts when it comes to treating burn casualties, like the victims of the February 10 MTR arson attack. Ambulance officers must check a patient's pulse and level of consciousness, give them oxygen if needed, and examine their wounds. The first aid workers at the scene, the ambulance officers had to consider the possibility there might be many more casualties further inside the station and could not spend too much time treating whoever they saw first.
First responders do triage on the spot. I supervised 2 colleagues in looking for casualties and coordinated their treatment with fire officers. However, a more important duty for me was to assess the scene and brief my superior on the situation when he arrived. The station is large with many columns and hidden areas. Exhausted casualties might be leaning against the columns waiting for help, hidden from our view. If I had treated whoever I saw first, I would have overlooked other areas with people waiting for help.
An ambulanceman for 18 years, Ng Kao Ho was the first aid worker to find Audrey Ko, the youngest victim of the fire attack, at just 16. He tended to her injuries on the spot.
Her legs were burned quite severely. Her face was blackened, but she was calm and very brave. She didn't cry and yell. She just followed my instructions after I told her not to worry. She is a courageous girl.
Ambulance officers usually spray saline water onto the burn to cool it before applying dressing.
This is not an ordinary facial mask. Burn dressing contains sterilized water, glycerin, and sodium hydroxide. People should not put facial masks on burn victims as they may contain materials unsuitable for burns. The safest way is to use clean water to cool down the burn area and seek medical help.
For incidents with a large number of casualties, a superintendent supervises ambulance officers at the scene. Wong Ying Keung was in charge on the day of the attack. 16 ambulances, 59 ambulance officers, and 3 special vehicles were deployed for that incident.
The rapid response vehicle is designed for emergency situations. After it arrives at the scene, an ambulance officer will be put in charge of coordinating the relief effort. The paramedic equipment tender, another fire services vehicle for big-scale incidents, is outfitted with lots of paramedic equipment. On the day of the attack, oxygen tanks and burn dressings on the truck were used to treat the casualties. The third vehicle is the Mobile Casualty Treatment Center. It is a mobile operating theater for doctors to do emergency life-saving surgeries before carrying casualties to hospital.
The mission of ambulance officers is to give casualties the best initial treatment and send them to hospital safely. On that night, 13 casualties, including 6 with serious burns, were given prompt treatment at the scene and sent to hospital.